All right, so what I wanted to do is talk about what I discovered. I could come off and do some I wrote on one of the like when I be doing comments, I leave. It's really overwhelming the situation I'm in, especially with this targeted stuff. You know, to try to stay sane within this mix. So watching other ideas that are similar on other people's channels. Um, sometimes you get triggered. So when I get triggered, I end up saying a bunch of crazy shit that happened to me. And kind of the way my mind works is I throw it out there. Like I don't hold on to ideas and shit like that. Like if I say something, I'm saying it to hear myself say it. So then as I throw it out there to the universe, I'll be able to get um, feedback, right? To see if that thought or those words were true, because they can always interchange themselves and shift. Um, so, like I heard somebody say one time, a good teacher. So let's say you have a teacher and you'll hear him say, take vitamin C. This does this and that. A good teacher is one where 4 or 5 years down the road, the complete idea about vitamin C has totally changed. Not necessarily totally changed, but to say that this person teaching is still progressing in his knowledge and he's not stopping. So you want a teacher to correct himself, right? And so for me, the only way I can correct myself is when I throw stuff out there to see if that's the angle or the lane that I should be going in. So when I write some of this stuff down, it really be heavy. So what I'll do is write down or I'll say it, I'll comment on somebody's page, just so I can hear myself if it sound cool or if it not, or if it don't sound cool. So I know most of the stuff that I'll be putting on there, and it's my experience, is insane. So I'll throw it out there to see people's reactions and then to see if for myself it sounds right and if that's the angle I should be going at. And so a lot of the crazy shit I be saying, yeah, I experienced it, but I can't talk about it now. Um, I could speak on it in the sense of the tactics they use. So like a lot of the fantastical shit I do be leaving on people's comments and shit is probably Project Bluebeam, which I can express my experience with it without now I should say without making it seem super fantastical. Like I can throw the fantastical shit in there, but now that I have a basis of what possibly it could have been, which more than likely it was this blue beam shit, and then I can even tell you the parameters. So like the situation, the state I was in, my health situation, um, you know what I mean, certain tactics. I could express that so that when this shit do happen, because it did happen to me, this blue beam shit, and if I can lay out all of the parameters, how my health was and everything else, and if I can put that into perspective, oh, that's probably what's about to happen. And if they were able to trick me into seeing shit like this, um, considering the fact that I'm not, I'm a scientist and a skeptic, so you can't just tell me anything and then I fall for it. Like it don't work like that. Same thing with the doctors and shit. I'm not about to go to no doctor and some asshole say, "Oh well, this and this happened," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's not what happened. It's my body. I know what the fuck is happening with my own body." So, um, I guess my point is, I don't just take shit for face value. You kind of gotta delve deeper for yourself rather than just take somebody else's words. I think Steve Jobs said that dogma. You don't want to take on nobody's dogma, even whatever I'm saying. You want to kind of look into it. So, what was I getting at with this? So yeah, to even be able to find out a way to, like, I can tell you what was happening to me at that particular time, and then the holograms and shit that they put in front of me, man. And if they were able to do that to me, they can hit masses of people, especially considering the blue light, the EMF, the controlling, the nanoparticles. Like I ate some Jack in the Box the other day. And I know how my body is, and I know about nanoparticles. I used to work at a research and development lab, so I know everything about this type of shit. And I was always from the outside in. So um, the Jack in the Box, whatever's in that stuff, whatever I shit it out, it wasn't just like bacteria, like normal bacteria, and it wasn't just okay. My body was reacting to seed oils and whatever other chemicals that they put in this stuff. It was deeper than that. Whatever it was, and this is some of the stuff that I can postulate that based on my experiences and what I know, and probably the reason why they have me in this type of situation is, and this is just one aspect, but whatever was in that damn Jack in the Box, I called it twice alive, which is to say, I could feel the dead bacteria, let's say, but at the same time, it had a mind of its own. Whatever else is in that shit, it has a mind of its own. And what I'm looking into with the EMF and the radiation and the light and the nanoparticles, um, and this is documented. This is research. What they've done is they put nanoparticles. So let's just say for cancer, this is just one adjunct. So for cancer, they put nanoparticulates, right, that can cross the blood-brain barrier, so on and so forth. But what they do is, once these nanoparticulates get to a certain area that they want to, regardless, even if it's systemic, what they do is they can hit your body with light, whatever kind of light on the spectrum that reacts to whatever nanoparticulate. So my point is, and then what I know about biology and shit is is you can have something that's dead, that's like dormant, right? And it's not doing anything. But as soon as you hit it with this light, it wakes up. It comes out of its dormancy state. So whatever I shitted out, it wasn't just bacteria. It was also whatever was melded into this bacteria, it felt like it was alive. Like whatever else was in there, I killed two different things, like a hybrid organism or some shit. So anyway, I'm just going over some of the crazy shit I be talking about, but I can correlate it into something that's physical, right? Rather than doing some spiritual, crazy, schizophrenic bullshit. So that's just one aspect, and I'm for sure about that. I'm for sure about that. It's something in that food, and as a possibility, it could be nanoparticulates that they post your ass with, and I can add the posting of light is because that's where we are. So they can hit you with beams of light, energy, uh, beams and shit to agitate or excite these nanoparticulates. And even if it's not nanoparticulates, it's even just like super forms of bacteria and viruses that they're making. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video was so within my little research framework, they had me fearful that, and I can tell you some wild shit in terms of the justice system. And when I was in there, it don't matter if you black or white, but again, this has a lot to do with black. And then people who are in this type of field, whether you white, black, doctor, whatever, you know that too. You know that too. If you're a cultist, all that type of shit, oh, you know it has something to do with black and getting rid of this shit. Uh, anyway, so, but again, it's happening to all types of people. And then I'll even add to this, even with to try to make this sound coherent rather than like some kind of fantastical shit, which again, they could do holograms and all of that, but a lot of the situations were like way too coincidental, which tells me that they have us all hooked up to some kind of quantum computer, and the quantum computer can obviously corral whole groups of people at the same time. um, so that could be a possibility. But one thing I did see, I'll give you an example before I get into what I'm trying to get into, which might sound crazy, so people won't hear the scientific shit I'm about to get into in a minute. But nonetheless, I had a friend of mine. He was a white dude, and And he was like, "Yo, Supreme man," he was like, "Yo, I got a feeling that I was a black person in a past lifetime, and I'm open to this type of shit." And the coincidental part about it is him telling me, as far as I can tell you, he's a targeted person too, or he was at that time. So it seemed normal, like it wasn't made up. You know what I'm saying? Like it was genuine. Uh, and then he told me stories too, like, "Yo, man, I think the way they got me is I'm in the Hunger Games," and I'm like, "Man, it feel like that for me too." Or another dude was like, "Yo, it feel like I'm in the Truman Show. They made it feel like that for me too." But nonetheless, the point I'm getting to is he was like, "Yo, I feel like I used to be a black person in a past lifetime," and I went along with it. And so they they'll move you around from place to place, right? So sure enough, I go to LA, and this is my fantastical shit that somehow was real, rather than maybe something they can do with holograms or blue beam or whatever. So I go to LA, and they swashbuckle me, let's say, from the town I'm in now, and then 3 months later they'll swashbuckle you to LA. 3 months later they'll send you over to this city. They keep moving you around. They would herd me around. So I was in LA for 3 months, and then I came back to this town, and then they swashbuckled me back to LA. In this town was where the white dude was like, "Yo, I think I used to be black." So my point, I was in LA 3 months prior. So anyway, after he tells me this, I go back to LA, you know, um, and right after he tells me this, I go to so 3 months prior, I would go to the 7-Eleven or go get my little snacks or whatever. And the layout, the people, so on and so forth. So I go down there after they swashbuckle me out, right after he told me, "Hey, I think I used to be a black dude in a past lifetime or some shit." Sure enough, I go to the 7-Eleven, and then this makes me sound crazy, but this happened. And again, I'm throwing the fact that it could be some holographic blue beam bullshit, but at the same time, this was too in my face. So anyway, I go to the 7-Eleven, la la la, get to the door, and it's the white dude, but he's black and he's an old man. It's like an old picture, like a Puerto Rican dude, like a Puerto Rican black guy, Cuban black dude, and he's old, same messed up grill. But the thing is, it looks just like the white dude, like literally his clone copy, but in a black body. And so I'm like, "Oh shit, this is crazy as fuck." So again, a lot of the stuff that I did see, it could be blue beam, it could be, not could be, more than likely it was, um, to where I was seeing like projected shit. It seemed like, but to project a real human being that look exactly like some other person, a white person no less, I've seen more than that type of thing. I've seen that a few times. And again, with enough resources, money, technology, you probably could do what I saw, but that's on one hell of a level to do. And then plus, for what? So, anyway, this is what I would have wanted to get into. So, they had me. The way they did me was horrible. So one of the things I was on before all of this shit happened to me is I'm always into biology. I'm always into physiology, all of that type of shit, virology. Like I'm good at research. So my mom had passed of cancer, and I wasn't the type of person to believe in shit like that. She had a friend that used to come over with just a juice thing, and her friend was like, "Yo, I'm cured." Whether or not that was actually true, it could have been a ploy. It could have been, she was taking the medicine too, chemo too, plus the juice, and it got her body in order, and it got rid of it. But the way she explained it, she just taking these juices, no chemo, no nothing like that. My mom, on the other hand, took this other stuff. But me, how I think, regardless of her friend or anything, is that you can get rid of anything. This was like 10 years ago. So that was my premise. I just had to find the right angle, I guess you can say. So That's why I got the little juicer thing. I'm quite sure for the most part that'll work. But um, so um, how can I say this? So what I started to do was I started to delve further into information because this is what I do. And it's usually on the sense of I don't really believe in disease and anything like that. In fact, I don't believe in it. It's not even a belief. I know it's bullshit. I have proof. You know what I'm saying? And so me being in the situation that I'm in, without no outlet, being psychologically harassed, um, spiritually harassed, technologically harassed, uh, it's hard for me to make a move and do anything and be able to express this stuff that I've been able to learn over the span of these 5 years of them doing this to me. So what I've been able to come up with it's kind of like a gift and a curse because here it is. In order for me to like, I already knew this information, but it was just unknowing. Like you don't know for sure. So going through this experience, I had to lose everything just so I can know for sure. Which the trade-off is, like, if you get there, oh hey, I want to learn the secrets of the universe, I want to know what the truth is. In my case, I got there, but I had to give up absolutely everything, and I never knew that by proxy that was what was happening. So okay, so here it is, I got the information to get rid of basically everything, and it's not my information, it's your information, it's our information. Like I picked this up from doing research, and it's just like hidden research. It's the weirdest thing. And knowing that it's hidden and other the information I'm getting is from doctors. Not only that, but rather the information I'm getting isn't from doctors per se. What I've done is I've done my research, and then I came across certain supplements that do this, that, or the other, which then I came across other doctors that advocate the same thing. So I'm on the right page to where I can, my research abilities is right up there with these doctors that I was able to get some research from. um, for me, which is to say that if I had an opportunity to be more stable, I would be able to get this information out. I would be able to learn more information. Like I'm the type to the basic information. Give me some more raw information. I can decipher it in a certain way. So anyway, because they tried to hit me with my health, I already knew that they were gonna hit me with that. I already know cognitive function, the blue light, so on and so forth. And then they tried to hit me again with I'm sick and all of this type of shit. And I'm like, I'm not no person that's just gonna believe whatever you say. I know how my body works. So I came across some things. So I just don't want to read it off. Um, so I kind of put together a little book with my ideas in regards to the systematic approach to what's happening to our bodies and how to stop this shit in terms of having to go to the doctor at all. Like they're not for you. They trying to make money, and the way they put the information out there, um, it's hard to refute a doctor if you're fearful, if they put that in, that they put it out there that way. So like for instance, if you're looking up like, okay, you need to take more vitamin A, right? And that does this, that, or the other. Let's just say methylene blue. They might be like, hey, you're not supposed to take this much of it. The science recommendation, clinical studies, research, blah 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 blah, says if you take this much, you can have heart palpitation, blah blah blah. They try to scare the fuck out of you from even taking something that, if you really dig into it, is the one thing that'll help you out. Not one thing; it's more than just that. So methylene blue is a part of um, one of the things I'm about to read off. So this is what I've been able to find: the root cause of everything, how to keep your body in tune enough to kind of ward off a little bit of their tactics, right? Um, so I just want to kind of read it off a little bit. And with this, if you're intellect, if you research and you got a sense of understanding and you want to know this type of stuff, then you'll hear what I'm saying within this, and then you'll be able to come up with supplements, if you will, uh, ways to increase these things that I'm talking about. Um, but on top of that, I do have the protocol that I made for myself that I can tell you 1,000,000,000%. I, rather than saying cure, since you can't say that type of shit, mm, it's even certain things you can't even say. So I didn't cure shit. How about that? But I was able to resolve or heal certain fucking issues that they lie to you about. And this protocol is not mine. It came from Mother Earth. So just before I start reading this, one thing I will say is, so you need exercise. So I'll put up a little exercise thing. You shouldn't do too much of it. I can tell you why on that, which you'll be able to figure out with this thing I'm about to read. Um, so kind of let me get into it. And what I'm gonna do with this book is too. It's important. Um, I'm gonna put it out there for free. I'm not gonna charge for this shit. That way you can get an understanding of what the root cause is and how we stop it. And then this will give us enough energy within ourselves, our mitochondria, um, in order to uh, be healthy at the very least, so we can still fight whatever this is, uh, because we are going to have to fight something. And one of the things is, so like how Sabrina be talking with the weapons. I've experienced those weapons. I can speak on it, and I'm still here, but I'm in the fucked up spot, so I can't speak on it without sounding fucked up. And I'm not saying this on a bragging level. I'm saying this to get help. I need fucking help. If I can get out this situation to people that are maybe in this community, people who understand where I'm coming from, that can help me to get me out of this situation. I have knowledge and I can pour it out. Like I can research the fuck out of shit. Like I have assets and capabilities, if you will. I can learn shit on the fly, like 2 seconds. Plus, I do my personal training thing, which again, it's hard for me to get out there and push it the way I want to push it because they'll zap you. So they'll make me feel anxious. Like it's almost like they predictively read your mind. So anyway, um, all right. So let's get with the reading. Oh shit. All right. So the idea I was getting to is mitochondrial dysfunction. That's the problem. All right. So every disease has a name. Medicine gave them those names to categorize, to classify, to treat each one as its own separate problem. But beneath every name, beneath every diagnosis, every symptom, every condition, there is one common event happening at the cellular level. The mitochondria are failing. Not so mitochondria. They're not just energy factors. They're factories. They're master regulators of cellular life and death. So let me just go through it. They regulate the immune system, the hormonal system, the neurological system, and the cardiovascular system. So every downstream system in the body answers to mitochondrial output. So when that system fails, disease uh, disease would be the predictable result or the measurable result of the cells that can no longer produce sufficient energy. All right. So that would be mitochondrial dysfunction rather than a particular disease. So the root of most every disease, most everything, the root of all of that, even this targeting shit, where they can use these devices to fuck with you, it has something to do with this too. It has something to do with your mitochondrial cells. They put them in this, as long as they're in a dysfunctional state, then they can hit you better. And if you're in a dysfunctional state, then your mental can be fucked up. Not because you're crazy or anything like that, but because you're in a dysfunctional mitochondrial state and your brain isn't functioning properly. All right, so at the root of it, so we can say Alzheimer's, right? Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune conditions, psychiatric disorders, like I was saying. Those are not just all separate problems. They are the same breakdown expressing itself in whichever tissue is most vulnerable. So uh, the diagnosis is just a moment of breakdown when it becomes visible. The process actually started a while ago because of this dysfunction. Now, let's just say for Alzheimer's, for example, I think it's Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, and I'm gonna get to that in this another section right here. Alzheimer's, just as an example, how they try to tell you it's something totally different. Alzheimer's is basically type 3 diabetes, which is to say that your brain is not being able to process the glucose the right way, which the stuff that I'm telling you will help that. It'll negate that. I got a friend of mine, he got dementia, not a friend, but another homeless person around here. And it's just either they be zapping him too. They zap us all. So they zap me to where I can't really say it in the cognitive way. They zap him in the sense that when he sees me as this broke ass dude sitting in a van. It looks like you're crazy. So for me to have this some kind of knowledge that would help him is it just doesn't compute because I'm fucked up. No matter what I say, I can give him the book and be like, here's the proof. It wouldn't compare to if it came from somebody who was in a position, came over here in a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a nice car, had a nice outfit on, wasn't sleeping in his car, you know, had a different energy vibe about him, wasn't being, attacked. He would believe that person with the same book rather than me. So here it is, he got dementia. This little bullshit I'm telling you, it'll get rid of that. It might take some time, but it definitely will get rid of that. And then once you get rid of it within your body, you would just have to retrain your brain. That's it. So I'm in the point position to where I've been able to do this and clean my body of whatever in the fuck these assholes was lying about. But what I'm noticing is that my mind and my nervous responses are still in that loop. And then now I'm getting to the point where I'm about to be super zeroed out. I'm seems like I'm going to run back into that loop. So now it's my body being in an optimized state to be able to see this loop, but now my brain is stuck in that past fucked up ass loop. Plus, because they made me feel not confident about myself and about the stuff I'm talking about, which probably bleeds off to other people as well. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. When in fact, I do. And what I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm good enough to research, especially if I had other people who were just as knowledgeable, and we can bounce this shit off of each other. And then I can learn more. So, nonetheless, um, all right. So, now a part of the dysfunction, and this is the main thing in terms of creating that energy, the electron transport chain. So inside each and every mitochondria is a relay system. Basically, it's like a gradient, which is the electron transport chain. This is where energy is actually made within the cells. These energies within those cells is what gives the processes of immune defense, free radical damage, or the prevention of it. All right. So um, when you eat food, this has something to do with it too. So when you eat food, electrons harvested from the food enter the chain at complex one. It has different complexes. So I think it goes up to five or four. So each complex passing electrons to the next. It's like a relay. They pass an energy, and basically the idea is it passes this energy along in order for it to create water. So your cells create its own water. That's important, not just regular water. So I'm gonna get into that because that's important too. Basically, your cells create their own water source. All right, now this um, so each complex passes those electrons along and releases energy at each step to pump protons across the inner gradient. All right, so uh, it builds the electrochemical gradient, which is a charge, and that charge drives ATP synthase. So in it's a nanomotor, right? A process, a function. Uh, it's basically the energy currency. This is what powers every function in the cell. So when that chain runs efficiently, electrons flow cleanly through that gradient and through the proton pumps. So now, when that chain is disrupted, they call it electron transport chain leakage. So it leaks out of those complexes, not being able to form the complete water molecule on the other end of it, which also has something to do with oxygen. Basically, it creates its own water, which then gets used up, and then the hydrogen bonds break, and then the oxygen bonds break. So oxygen and water are one and the same thing when it comes to this transport chain. Now, those leaked, here's a portion of that. Those leaked electrons hit oxygen and create reactive oxygen species. So if that chain wasn't leaking, um, and it hits those oxygen, it'll just create more water. You see? But because the chain is leaking, guess what happens? It creates reactive oxygen species, free radicals, damage at the mitochondrial cell level. So that means less energy, basically. Let me read it. Free radicals that damage every complex and produces less ATP, less energy, and then it creates more damage. Now, the system over time, it degrades itself. So you might think you're okay. You see people that's, even if you eat good and all of that, you have to get all of these levels in order. Um, you're just going to degrade over time. If you're taking pharmaceuticals, those pharmaceuticals are designed, hear me, they're not only designed to stop one of those symptoms, which again is just mitochondrial dysfunction, but it's also designed to actually make your dysfunction even more fucked up, fuck up the transport chain even more. So it's just covering up your arthritis symptoms. It's just covering up your IBS symptoms, which if you can control this narrative that I'm getting to, you can stop all of that. You don't need arthritis pill plus an IBS pill. It's the same exact function, just at a different organ. That's it. So now we're gonna get into food, and this is the little book excerpt I'm writing. I'm gonna give this for free. Read it. This is what's happening. This will prevent going to the doctor. So we've been taught to think about food in terms of calories. That's the wrong frame entirely. Food is a substrate for the electron transport chain. A substrate. So when you get real food, not processed food. Again, I said earlier in this about the fake food. That shit is fake as fuck. All of it. Like I even think the food at the grocery store is bullshit. And then I know the vegetables is because even if it say organic, I used to work at a place called Santa Bio. So if anybody know what that is, I was doing research and fucking development. But Santa Bio was cool. We was doing some development for Monsanto Bayer. And let me tell you, the stuff that you eating is not what you think. You think you eating. I got a friend from like Russia and shit, or people I ran into. And one time they was like, "Yo, like we from Yugoslavia or some shit. We just came to visit. I was in LA, and him and his mom was like, "Yo, you know what's up with the food out here?" He was like, "All of the apples and the bananas and shit like that. He was like, it all looked uniform, like it's fake. And he was like, back home where we from, when the apples fall off the tree, he was like, some of them is long, skinny, some of them is fat. He was like, but none of them come looking shiny and like y'all's look. So, being that I used to work at one of these places, I already knew what he was saying. It's all modified to the extent where you can actually modify it to fuck you up over time. It's not rocket science. They make it seem like it's crazy as fuck, and then they'll make it seem like what I'm saying. Nah, that's conspiracy theory. No, it ain't, because it could be done. Just the idea that it could be fucking done. I worked at the place. You know what I'm saying? They would tell us one thing, but even the research and development that we were doing is fake. So anyway, let's get back to it. So from there, getting the energy from the food. Um, let's just get to it. So processed food has had those substrates stripped out. What remains spikes glucose, disrupts the signaling that governs how cells import fuel, and delivers almost nothing usable to the electron transport chain. So, as an example, again, going through this situation, I'm trying to learn, I guess my spirit, whatever you want to call it, my higher self. So, uh, even in my fucked up situation, I'm still trying to eat relatively good, you know. Um, so, there's been a few times where I um, slipped up and needed a bunch of sugar. So, ate a bunch of gummy bears and shit. But in particular, like I said, a few days ago, I went to go do the Jack in the Box because my body, I've cleared my body. I want to see how my body is gonna handle it. That wasn't the goal necessarily. It was just like a trigger. So I ate some Jack in the Box, like a junior jumbo meal or something. So, and then like I was saying, the poop scene, it just smelled the wrong way. Like it was beyond fake. It was like alive. Like I killed some serious shit, not just no normal bacteria and shit. Like whatever's in that food is like nano engineered, I think. But anyway, we'll get off of that. But a few months ago, I did the same thing, and no, not a few months ago, like a year ago. Like I was eating super clean at this time. I had a spot and everything, and I was eating like juicing and all of that type of shit. And so I slipped up, went to go eat some McDonald's, and I noticed that the food, whatever it was, it stayed in my system for like a couple days. And so I came to the conclusion that also too, whatever's in that food, your body doesn't know how to process it. Your body, it's like a foreign substance. Your body has no idea how to process it. So because there's no nutrients either, you're not getting no nutrients, and at the same time, your body has no idea what this shit is. So I can literally feel this damn hamburger sitting in my stomach for a couple of days. This was when I was eating good, but I didn't do this optimization thing that I did now. I didn't learn this. I didn't know this. If I would have known this at the time, I would have been straight. Um, but I was eating good. So that's why I'm saying you need to do this on top of eat good. So where I'm at, I did this. Now I need to get stable and eat good. But if you're a person that's eating good, oh, you're depleted still. You still should do this protocol. So anyway, like I was saying, so the food don't know where to go. Your body don't know how to process no fucking McDonald's. It just sits there, and which tells me that it makes your body inflamed because it's just sitting there, and your body is trying to move this shit but don't know how. So now this past week, a few days ago when I did it, and I've got myself optimized, my body was able to handle it a certain way, which probably added to the fucking smell because my body is optimized and killing the fuck out of that shit, whatever it is. Excuse me cussing, but anyway, that might throw it off too. Oh, he cussing and he don't know what he talking about, man. Listen, I swear to God, whatever kind of ailment you got, I swear to God, this fucking protocol, this shit I'm telling you here, just as a basis. This ain't the protocol, but you can figure that shit out for yourself. If you want to know the protocol, I need you to know the protocol so you can heal yourself, so you can resolve your fucking issues, and so I can get help out of my situation. Give me a couple of dollars. This is life saving shit. I should charge like 20,000 fucking dollars like the doctors, but I don't want to do that. But I do have to get something out of this. I need help myself. So if I could help you with this protocol to get rid of some serious shit, help me at the same time. So let me keep going with this. And I'm starting to get hot. Um, so the membrane, when you eat the food, it has to maintain precise composition of elements and so forth for the complexes to function, electron transport chain to function. So a damaged membrane means that damaged electrons flow. So before you even eat your second meal, which means the first meal that you ate, even if it's a good meal, considering also too that there's no nutrients in that shit. Um, not in America at least. If you're in a different country, you might be better off. You need to go to Mexico or something. Shit. Um, but so your body is respond. So a lot of the food spikes you get a hunger pain. Not only is it perhaps more than likely to these damn parasites and bacteria like I felt in that damn food, but also if you don't have parasites, let's just say you did a cleanse, you ain't got no parasites. What I've noticed this past week doing this protocol is it could also be not only habit, you know, uh, but of course they zap you too, so you get a little nervous zap, but also your body not being having nutrients because the food you ate. So okay, you get hungry again, 6 meals a day, 3 4 meals a day bullshit, and you get hungry, you keep getting hungry. That's not real. That's because your body's not getting nutrients. Now here's the crazy part about what I've been experimenting with, and it's been working. And again, I got um, if you if you get the book and you want to mess with the protocol, inside the protocol I put where I got this information. The doctors who do this, even on a higher scale than what I do, um, what I've done, I should say, um, in terms of like overdosing. That's the thing too, because your body is already deprived. It's good to super saturate your body, and they'll tell you, the doctors, fuck faces. Oh, don't take too much vitamin A. You're gonna get toxicity. But you're at the same time you're telling me to take azumalumab that you put in a disclaimer that can fucking kill me. But you tell me don't take a vitamin. So when you get hungry again, that's your body signaling we ain't got no nutrients. So what I've done with this damn protocol I've been doing, it's so weird. I can even go to the gym. I get a super crazy pump without even having to do much. But at the same time, my body's not begging for food. It's like I've been able to get my transport chain popping. I've been able to get my mitochondria moving in the forward direction. I've been able to get my repair and healing processes in order. So my body is in an optimal state to where you almost, if your body is in an optimal state, you almost don't even need food, only as a substrate to move the nutrients and shit around. You probably only, and this probably goes back to like hunter gatherer times, to where for the most part our bodies were designed to go 3 4 5 days without no fucking food, maybe just some berries and shit, you know what I mean, that we picking along the way. So and then it would prime ourselves for. So our natural body is built to not even get disease because you're self autophagy all day in the hunter gatherer situation. So fasting is good even if it's intermittent. And back then, because it wasn't too much stuff, the processes I'm talking about were already optimal. So what I'm saying is, doing this little protocol I've been doing, your body barely even wants to eat. It's so crazy. So I'm getting all of the optimized effects, but without needing much food at all. My sugar cravings went away. All of that type of shit disappeared. And I'm like, okay, is it because of the parasites and shit like that? Yes, those died off instantly. NK cells, interferon is through the roof, which, if you know anything about NK killer cells, interferon, cytochrome C, these things get rid of disease, cancers. And the shit I'm talking about is documented autoimmune diseases. If you can optimize these systems. So, again, with the food being a substrate, um, to get this stuff moving and in order. So I kind of lost track of what I was saying. So um, you can resolve a lot of these issues. Oh, so parasites. So I'm like, okay, I got rid of the parasites, and I know this. You see the shit coming out of your poop, and it happens fast. Like it's not no like you can get rid of the parasites and shit, viruses, bacteria, fast as fuck with this optimizing these particular parameters. And again, you listen to other people that talk about these parameters: light, water, mitochondria. So you can look at them dudes too. What I notice is we all got our own particular protocols, but theirs is good too. But mine's covers all of these that I'm talking about without jargon and bullshit. Like even some of these people, they're trying to get paid too, and I get it. So they're not gonna tell you the whole kit and caboodle. This shit, I'm telling you the whole kit and caboodle, but I need to get out of my situation. So anyway, um, the food, the parasites. So I got rid of the parasites, and then I'm like, oh, okay, you would get these again. And I'm noticing that it was because, uh, for me at least, is that it was old patterns that are resurfacing itself. But what I was getting to this is with the food in general. So if you're out there and you eat normal food and you get hungry again, you shouldn't be getting hungry again. Your body should be optimized enough that it's doing a self autophagy on itself throughout the day. So like throughout the day, I'm not really hungry. So this morning, I take my protocol. I'm running out of some of the stuff, but I take it still regardless. Whatever I do still have left, and it's basically just pills and shit, herbs, man. Um, but I'll take it within a day. So like this morning, I did a workout yesterday, and all I really ate was like a salad. You know what I'm saying? Like my body is such in an optimized state. It's not asking for much protein. It's not asking for much at all. Um, so now again, because the food is stripped of any of the nutrients and stuff like that for the electric transport chain system to function, um, that's when you get sick, and that's when your mitochondria gets dysfunction, and then that's when you get sick. So over time, the system degrades from the absence of what it requires to maintain itself. So you're not just eating empty calories; you're starving the electron transport chain. Now, this is the other part: oxygen. So at the end of the electron transport chain, the terminal step, the complex four, is the point where everything comes together. So oxygen is the final acceptor here. So if your oxygen system isn't good, so like smoking cigarettes per se, if your cells aren't getting enough oxygen, so when they talk about, deep breathing, all of that ancient thought shit, breathing techniques, that shit is real. So that's like a clue that they put into the matrix that we can understand from. So this deals with your health too, your brain function, all of that. So um, without efficient oxygen utilization at this terminal step, the relay stalls, again, leading to dysfunction. So electrons back up through the complexes, leakage accelerates, again, creating free radicals, um, and the entire system collapses from the end backward. So this is a critical distinction most people have never been told. This is not about having oxygen. You can be breathing perfectly, and your cells can be functionally starved at complex 4 because of the leakage. So again, the food thing, talking about the food, even if you're eating food, good food, if it's dysfunction and you're not getting no nutrients, boom, same problem. Same thing with the oxygen. Okay, you might be getting real good oxygen, but um, how is it saying here? yeah, if you can be functionally starved at that last step of the energy electron transport chain because you're not getting no oxygen. The whole thing is messed up. The whole complex. So you got oxygen, but you're not being able to utilize it the right way. So let's see. So again, it's not necessarily a breathing problem; it's a mitochondrial problem, and it expresses itself as fatigue, this, that, and the other. Um, so restoring oxygen is a proper step. So let's. So that's oxygen. Now here's another good part, and this is really good. So, man. So one time, this is gonna be pretty good. Show how my brain kind of picks up on shit. So, let me get some trail mix. So one time, and this was a while ago. Um, excuse me, talking about that food got me kind of hungry. Again, even with that, you can listen to I can listen to my body now. My body is like more in sync with my mind. It'll tell me what it wants. It'll be like, yo, French fries, right? Which is the old pattern behavior. But then I'll be like, oh, I get it. It's not asking for French fries. I just did a little workout. It's really asking for electrolytes, the salt, basically. And then I'll think to myself, okay, let me go get some chicken or something, some protein. It's so weird that once you get your body in tune with itself, especially doing this protocol or similar protocols like it, your body will tell you what it wants. So I'm like, okay, I want some protein. Let me go get a burger or something because that's the only thing I can really kind of get. I go to the store, and I guess I'm getting more in tune with my higher self because I'm clearing myself out. My body is optimized. So this is a spiritual connotation too. So I go to the little grocery store, and then the way the shit works too. What I'm noticing about this realm. So I wanted to go and get the French fries and burger, but I was about to go to like a mom and pop shop, so it's not like fast food crap. But all I wanted was really just the French fries. That was really was on my mind. But I thought to myself, um, it was like, so what I did was um I put up to the grocery store, and then the little hamburger place was across the street. And so this is what I'm saying about how things are coincidental too. So it's like my mind and my body is in tune with even the universe, let's just say. I just probably have to change your mindset. So all of that stuff that they talk about mindset too, focus on this or that or the other. I think that shit is true. Um, it works best if you are in tune with your own body and your own senses. Uh, what I'm saying is, here it is. I'm like, okay, I need some. I want to go get this hamburger, but my body knowing that what it needs, it only. I'm at the grocery store and I was thinking, okay, let me go get a salad. If I don't get this burger and French fries, I'll just go and get a salad with a little bit of chicken or protein in it, right? And then so I get to the grocery store. I can't make the decision. And so I was like, you know what? How about this? I'll just go into the grocery store, get the salad, um, and then come back out. And then I might just go across the street and get the hamburger and the fries. So I go into the grocery store and I get the salad. But then something inside me is like, yo, you need, because I knew I needed protein. I just came from the gym, but my body wasn't asking for nothing really. It's weird, but I knew I had to eat something, or I should eat something. So something was like, yo, go to the milk aisle, get some chocolate milk. I like chocolate milk usually after my workout. It's like the best post workout. It's chocolate milk, but they don't. It's like a bigger jug, and it's like $3. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to keep it cold in my car. So okay, I just came from the gym. I remember back in the day, I used to do heavy cream when I was trying to gain weight. Now that I got my body optimized, maybe my spirit or my higher self, whatever, was trying to lead me in that direction. So I was like, fuck it. I got some chocolate milk powder in my car, some Ovaltine. So let me just get a thing of half and half, which is basically a lot of fat, maybe a tad bit of protein. But again, my body wasn't necessarily asking for the protein. It was just asking for, I guess, the nutrients from the salad, and then it wanted fat. So, like in the past, where it would have been my body, brain, parasites, whatever it may have been, the stress that I was going through, it may have led me to McDonald's, big old bag of candy, big old bag of chips, big old soda, right? The stress and everything adding up. My body being in a dysfunctional state, these archons, these assholes, zapping you and shit. But now, my body's more like, So rather than it going towards that instinctively, it goes strictly towards half and half, like stuff that's more nutrient dense, which is crazy, which tells me you're even on the inside of your body is alive. So when I say them nanoparasites or something, that's probably how your body is to begin with. And I even thought about this one time, like how if you cut your arm or something, instantly your body starts sending out certain things to clot it and so on and so forth, which is to say nanobots. Your blood in and of itself is a nano fucking bot. So we can end that one. So for sure they got nanoparticulates and shit like that. Oh my god. Wowza. Mm-mm-mm. Anyway, so I just got the chocolate milk. I mean, the half and half, and that was it. That was all my body really needed. That was all it wanted. I ate the salad. So what I'm saying is, once you get your body in tune, it won't even ask you for bullshit. It'll tell you what it wants, and I can tell you how my body is reacting now. It's trying to save itself, so it don't even really want to eat. It's using whatever reserves and whatever this protocol is doing for it, which is a good thing. Mm. Wow. Now, where's my little thing? So that's that, and this is coming to a hit because it's pretty long. So I don't want to read too much of it. I'm gonna put it up there, and again, it's free, but this is where I really wanted to get to. All right. So, so one day, this was a while ago. This is how my brain thinks, and then all of this shit is coming to a hit now. 5, 10, 15 years later. So, one day I was looking at a waterfall. I was somewhere and they had a waterfall, and because I'm a scientist, I just think out abstractly outside the box. So I thought one day I was like, you know what? Um, if you boil water, as an example, it's not the same water per se. You're literally changing the molecular structure of it just by boiling it. So I'm at this waterfall and I'm seeing this waterfall and the thought came to my head with the waterfall. I'm like, interesting. It coming down in this heavy stream like this, it's obviously changing the molecular structure of it. So the water that's coming from up the top is totally different from the water at the bottom, and probably more so the water that's in the middle, the misty shit. That's probably like the purest water you can possibly find. Not only has it been running over these rocks, gathering energy, right? This is what I'm about to get into too. Water is a fucking battery of energy. And so here it is traveling over these rocks. This is where you get mineral water. So this is natural. So people was in old times sitting up under goddamn waterfalls getting the most mineral rich water you can possibly find. Plus it was energetic. The water was enlivening your your mitochondria, just the water alone, because it had all of the minerals and shit in it. And the minerals were charged. You know how serious and dope this type of information is, and I can't even express it the right way because they got me fucked up. All right, so with that being said, I came across this information from Gerald Pollack. So this is a good part. This is real good. It's called Easy Water or Structured Water, Gerald Pollack. So I even have something that I might put up. I will put it up there because I don't have anything to lose. It's just I'm being zapped and it's hard for me to focus. I feel worthless, but nonetheless, I do have a device that that can do something with this easy water. But that's just a thought. I will put that out there regardless. Anyway, it's called Easy Water, Structured Water from Gerald Pollack. All right, that's where I got most of the information from. After I came up with the idea of myself, just thinking about it. All right, so all right, so Gerald Pollack. So easy water is called structured water. Now we all think that water is normally just we all think that water is you just drinking water. So your body is made up of like 60 to 70% water. This is good too because a lot of this information, if you're hearing what I'm saying to you without putting it out there, so they don't ban me for speaking this shit. So um, like I was saying, water holds a memory. So some of this information I'm gonna get into with Gerald Pollack, um, there was a study that he was doing at like a conference or something, and the guy, I think his name is Luc Montagnier. I don't know if that's his first name, but I know for sure it's his last name. The dude that found HIV. So he won a Nobel Prize and all that bullshit. One thing he did say about that was that if you change your terrain, basically this protocol I'm talking about, you'll get rid of AIDS and anything else. He was like any fucking disease. Um, but then they blackballed him. They told him he was a quack. This is a Nobel Prize winner. Anyway, to add that to what Gerald Pollack got is before they blackballed him and before after they blackballed him and he died, Montagnier, um, he worked with Pollack and he came up with a postulation that water holds memory and DNA. And he actually did a study, Montagnier did, where they put a strand of DNA in a glass of water, and then they duplicated the original strand. Right? They took they they put the strand in the water, right? And then they let me just try to say it the right way. You can look this up, but nonetheless, they and then if you look it up on Chat GPT, it'll try to steer you away from it like it's bullshit, but it's real. It's documented. And again, you can look up Gerald Pollack's work, and he might talk on that. But nonetheless, so the idea is they put a DNA strand in some water, and then they took that DNA strand out of that water and brought in another DNA strand that wasn't the same. It was different, and they would put it in that water, and then that water would turn that other DNA strand into the DNA information and memory that was in the water, which is to say, basically, I might be kind of off with the explanation, but nonetheless, the mechanism is the same, and the mechanism is that the water holds information on a DNA level. So now let's get back to the easy water, all right? Because it changes its molecular structure. So we're made up of 60 to 70% water, probably more. But this water isn't in the form of the water that you drink. So when you drink the water, your body then converts this water to a crystalline like structure. They Pollock calls it exclusionary zone water. What that means is, and it ties into the oxygen thing, it ties into the electron transport chain, and it ties into mitochondrial dysfunction. So what the cell membranes do is, um, they wrap themselves within this easy water, this exclusion zone water, which is a lattice-like structure, like graphene. Um, it's almost like, uh, think think lattices and the graphene idea, where it's like a lattice structure. It's more strong and lighter. Let's just say, as an example. So anyway, so the water that's in your body is mainly this easy water, exclusion zone water, structured water, not bulk water. All right. So again, because your cells use this electron transport chain, um, and it surrounds itself with, uh, um, this easy water, this lattice structure, it can potentiate more energy, right? So that's the idea I'm getting to when I'm saying that, um, uh, I don't need as much food, right? Because the potentiality of the even the minimal substrates that you're getting is being optimized at a higher level, because every other dysfunction is settled. All right. So now, I'll read it to you. So Pollock calls it the fourth phase. Um, uh, the structured water acts like a battery. All right. It stores and delivers a charge. More critically, it creates proton highways. Now, if you remember, the protons is the gradients that the electric transport chain operates on. So the protons pumped by the ETC complexes don't diffuse randomly to the nanomotor. Um, what was the nanomotor? I can't remember what it was. Anyway, um, they travel along the structured water network, which is these lattices. Um, so now, without properly structured water at the membrane level, the cell membrane level, proton transfer becomes chaotic and inefficient. Again, that's that potentiality. So ATP production drops even when the complexes themselves are intact. The chain can be running and still produce a fraction of its potential output, simply because the water architecture conducting protons to the motor has degraded. Exactly what I just said. Um, so it's about potentiality. If your system is at a higher potentiality, then you don't really need too much food, nothing like that. Your body will handle any kind of disease, anything like that. So now, at the negatively charged intermitochondrial membrane specifically, it is charged by infrared light. Now, and I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but the blue light bullshit, where it can control you. And they did a study with rats, to where with the blue lights, and it's not just at nighttime, but the blue light, it made the rats aggressive, and the red light made them more calm. Again, that goes back to the thing I was talking about with the sun. I don't know if I said it on here, but how the sun back in the 80s, 90s, 70s, whatever, it used to be bright orange, but now it's high definition. I can kind of get into how they did that, but that's a part of it. So it's because of light. So mitochondrial dysfunction, electric transport chain, electron transport chain, water and light. But we're on water right now, and then food and nutrients. So now again we're on light. So, and this is why, if you listen to like Jack Cruz, they'll say go stand out in the sun. You're still getting some, but all of the chemtrails and the stuff that they do into the atmosphere and the ionosphere is making the sun look like it's high definition and bright blue. So because our peripheral system, our eyes, pick up on it as blue, it sends that signal, which is, you know, that fucked up aggressive feeling, giving them access to be able to manipulate you, mind control, that type of shit, make you sick. So the easy water, which The easy water, which is the potentiality output of the cell's energy, um, which I'm getting. This is why I was talking about the sun too. Was because you get that energy from that sun, and this is why. Um, the easy water is charged by infrared light. Your own body heat does this continuously. It's creating energy. So if you see one of the other videos I put on there, a little short or whatever, it was me at the Planet Fitness, and I always, whenever I go there, I jump into they call it the beauty angel. They try to trick you and make it seem like it's just for women and to look good, but it's for overall health. So if you got a Planet Fitness pass or a red light place to go to a red light, we kind of want to do that for a lot of reasons. Cytochrome C being the main reason. I'll get into that. So sunlight does this. The environment does this. When the environment is right, healthy mitochondria generate the infrared output and maintain the membrane conditions that sustain this water structure. Dysfunctional mitochondria lose that capacity. The water structure degrades, protons transfer deteriorates. ATP falls further. The dysfunction compounds itself at the architectural level. Now, let's get into the energy. And again, I'm gonna throw this out there for free. And then anybody that's sick and needs some healing with these particular protocols, let me know. It will work. You understand the science. Just don't be afraid. Now, the next chapter is energy as a master signal. So ATP is not just simply fuel. It's the master signal that the body runs on. Every system, whether it's immune, neurological, hormonal, cardiovascular, digestive, they all require ATP to function. When mitochondrial output is compromised, when the electron transport chain is running below capacity, the body faces an energy distribution crisis. It begins to prioritize. The brain gets protected first, then the heart, then everything else. Tissues that fail low or that fall low on the priority list begin to dysfunction. What would that be? Skin, certain organs, kidneys, liver. Because the main thing that needs to stay alive is the heart and the brain. So, oh well, and then the immune systems. So, and so it says here that because every person's genetic vulnerabilities, environmental exposures, and nutritional deficiencies are different, the tissue that breaks down first is different in each individual person. That's why you do the whole system. It's pretty simple. So let's just say, like it says here, and the diagnosis in one person, it's the neurons, and the diagnosis is Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. In another, it's the pancreatic beta cells, and the diagnosis is diabetes. In another, it's the myocardium, and the diagnosis is heart failure. In another, it's the immune regulatory system, and the diagnosis is autoimmune disease. The same upstream failure, different mitochondrial dysfunction. Uh, so that's why it looks like, wait, what is it? Different downstream expression. This is why mitochondrial dysfunction looks like so many different diseases. It's not, it's just one breakdown wearing different masks depending on which tissue ran out of ATP first. So chronic low mitochondrial output means chronic dysfunction across multiple systems at the same time. So it's a lot more I wrote on that. But now we'll get to the light. So, all right. So the spectrum of light your biology is exposed to, and critically, it directly determines mitochondrial function. This is photobiology. So the mitochondria have an internal defense system produced and concentrated locally at the site of the electron transport activity chain. Its job is to protect it from oxidative damage. So we're talking about light. So I'm gonna just read through it. So artificial blue light from screens, LEDs, indoor lighting. Um, it says here at nighttime, but it's just not at nighttime. It's through the daytime too. You have to understand that just because you can't see these particular lights, and if I can disrupt you in the nighttime when you're supposed to sleep with this blue light, then probably naturally at the same time in the daytime you're supposed to get this orange light, but yet the sun is bluish now. So obviously it can affect you in the daytime too. Gets you, it keeps you cortisol high. Now that I think about it, that's what that would do. It would keep your cortisol levels on high, even if you're sitting there calm. You just got off of work. Your cortisol levels are still jumping because um, all day you're exposed to this damn blue light all over the place. Your phones, no matter what. So let's read through it. All right. So infrared light does the opposite. It charges the structured water architect architecture that the mitochondria depend on. It supports membrane integrity. It drives repair processes. So basically, just with this chapter, again, I'm just telling you the mechanisms. You want to email me for the protocol. Like, let's get healed. So one thing I will suggest is sunlight is good, but you also if you got access to a red light, like I said, I'll put up there a link or something so I can get some help, like an affiliate link. But the best one is Planet Fitness. Go get you a Planet Fitness pass, and then they got the little red light. And again, they make it seem like it's a female thing. Oh, it's the beauty angel machine. It's a heal yourself machine. So no, how it all connects. Now the full picture becomes clear. Mitochondrial dysfunction is not a single event; it's a cascade. Modern life triggers it from every direction simultaneously. Processed food strips the electron donors the chain runs on while introducing damaged fats that structurally compromise the membrane in the chain it's embedded in. The minerals and compounds that ETC complexes are literally built from are absent from the modern diet. The chain stars and degrades from a lack of raw materials. Let's continue on. Chronic stress floods mitochondria with calcium. That's heavy, triggering cell death pathways. Circadian disruption uncouples the biological timing that governs when mitochondria repair and when they produce. Um, this is how you get every chronic disease simultaneously from one root cause. And the restoration logic is equally unified. Restore the electron donors the chain runs on. Restore the membrane environment the chain is embedded in. Restore the structured water architect protons travel through. Restore the internal defense systems that protect the complexes from their own byproducts, free radicals, and restore oxygen utilization at the terminal step so that the relay completes itself. And if you can restore gene expression, this is not hard to do, you can build and maintain the machinery. So, and then also if you restore the light environment. So, because the light environment charges the water. So even if you're at your home, it might be good to get a just get the red light throughout the house instead of like. And then I was looking at Jack Cruz. Now I see why they banned those incandescent lights. Always heat and environmental, blah blah blah. But that damn heat actually, the 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 color of it actually was good for you. But they don't sell them no more. You got to get the high definition bullshit lights. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, that's that. I'm gonna put the book up there. I'll put it on like my gum roll and download it. It's free. And then once you get the idea of it, even hit me up. Uh, Based on the mechanism of actions. Tell me what you know about life. Tell me what you know about water. This is about learning. Add me something to it. You know something about Gerald Pollack? Help me add something to it so we can help this shit and get past this crap. I truly need to help myself. So, thanks for listening.